Hi, my name is Kees, and this video is responding to the question, what is our deepest conditioning? So in order to talk about our deepest conditioning, meaning our deepest programs or that which we let go in the process of discovering ourselves fully. So I'm going to talk about some of the deepest layers you might encounter here. And I'm not going to talk about, per se, the deepest layers of reality, but this is about the deepest layers of conditioning. So to talk about that, it's nice to understand the Buddhist principle. It's called the two darts. And it talks about the suffering we as humans go through. I think there's the first dart. And the first dart is our primary suffering. Meaning something bad happens. We get an accident. We lose a loved one. We get sick. We lose our jobs or something like that. A sensation that is not nice. And that's primary suffering as well. That's suffering that's not our choice as well. It's not something we often have influence over. We might have a little bit looking backward. But often this just happened, and there's nothing we can do about it anymore. It's just happening, and it's actual. And we can have that in small moments where we bump our toe, or we're late for something. And we can have that in a big way, where, like I said, we lose a loved one, for example. So that's the first dart. And then there's the second dart, or secondary suffering, which is suffering over the first suffering. So it's, for example, we're late, but we're beating ourselves up over it. We're saying, I'm a failure. I'm always late. This is so bad. Or we have negative self-talk. We have negative beliefs about ourselves. We feel that we're a failure. We feel that we should have done more. We're mourning the loss of our loved one. We're not doing it fully in a healthy way. We're restraining ourselves, we're judging ourselves, we're not allowing ourselves to feel. So this is the second dart, it's like meta suffering. So identity is based on our reaction to primary suffering. It's based on the second dart, because what we can change or what we can work with is this second dart suffering. The first dart suffering is why it's happening. It can happen. It's life. But the second dart suffering is something we can work with. And it's something that's interesting. And our identities tend to be built, and our deepest conditioning tend to be built around this subject of not wanting to suffer, to either alleviate or to, most of all, as a sort of survival mechanism, to try to prevent suffering. So we try to prevent suffering. And is that possible? Well, no. Sometimes through some actions, a little bit, maybe. Who knows? But let's say we have had someone break up with us because we were honest with them about that we sometimes have doubts whether a relationship is right or something like that. Then our lesson might be that we never be honest again to a loved one. That could be conditioning. So fear of suffering itself, not wanting to suffer, and then that takes the form maybe of death or the unknown or emptiness. That's something we want to prevent. So that's often one of the deepest layers of our conditioning. That's the first one. We don't want to accept this primary suffering. We want to turn it around. We want to prevent it. We want to adjust ourselves so it doesn't happen, which is not possible, but it's kind of like a survival mechanism. So the second layer of our deepest conditioning is our identity based on not wanting to suffer. So what do I do to please people or get into the best circumstances? How do I adjust myself? How do I force myself to get people to like me, to get people to feed me, to get people to love me, to get people to never leave me, to not be alone, to be good enough, to Something like that. To not be wrong, to not be abandoned. And the third one is past life suffering and conditioning around that. So whether we call it past life, parallel life, or whatever, there's often, when we come deep, a sort of something which identity is built upon, which is related to the soul's journey, let's say, and suffering that has happened in the past, which we adjusted ourselves to. I'm saying adjusted, I should say distorted. We distorted ourselves based on our suffering because we don't want to suffer. No, we absolutely do not want to suffer. Maybe we're even afraid of suffering. Which again, if you look at some of the suffering in the world, it makes sense. That primary suffering can be really intense. But in the process of trying to prevent this or adjust ourselves or something like this, we create this second-dart suffering, this meta suffering, our mental suffering. We become an adjusted version. We create an identity out of it. We create an identity out of trying to please people, trying to hold back, trying to not speak our truth, trying to be successful, be loved, something like that. For me, there was also this fear of suffering. And then on top of that was actually the identity of not being good enough. And because of that, a sort of striving to always try to be good enough and be successful and loved, which makes so much sense, right? But it's still, or it was still, that which was meant to be released here. And I know there's a lot that I just spoke about, which is also meant for you to release. Otherwise, you wouldn't have listened to this video. So I congratulate that on facing your suffering head on. Not only your primary suffering, but especially your secondary suffering, which is something we can accept and work with because it's a distortion. While the primary suffering is actually just what is. And sometimes it's very impersonal. It has nothing to do with you. But on the other hand, it will always teach you something. You will always get more lessons through it. If you're interested in having a conversation with me about this, or something you've been willing to ask, you can book a call or let me know in the comments. And you can also ask a question in the comments, which I might make a video about. Much love to you. Subscribe if you haven't already and you're liking these videos. Then like this video, and thank you so much for watching, and good luck on your beautiful journey. Bye, my friend.